You're all ready? Oh, Jesus. Okay, I want to do the, got it, okay. Kiwasa grows a welcoming and inclusive community in the vibrant Hastings, Sunrise, and Grandview woodland neighborhood of East Vancouver, located on the traditional unceded and occupied territories of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam nations. So thank you, Indigenous people that you have invited us here. I don't know, no, they didn't invite us, but that you're accepting us here. And what I want to do now is just a little brief talk about what we've done so far. This is the 5th week. And in the first week, I want to remind you that people, that Marie from South Van did a presentation about what domestic violence is and impact on mom. And then I followed up talking about domestic violence matters in parenting and parenting matters in domestic violence, looking at what children need and the fact that we are all stressed out as moms. The children, and I know that Ahmad will be talking about this today too, that they connect with that energy, that is a stressful energy, and what children learn from that. And then the second week, we had Jason Lee, who talked about his childhood and how the abuse and shame that he lived in his parents' home, how that traumatized him, and the challenging beliefs of himself that he carried, producing feelings of depression, anxiety, and anger. And then the decision that he made of healing himself, looking for help, and finally healing himself. And then the third week, we had Joe Atkinson, who talked about how can we become the answer to our children's needs. And that is more about being rather than doing. You know, we're doing, and it's more being. And that means that the child is going to feel connected by being seen, hearing, understood. And he gave us some example how to do it, to look at the eyes, smile, nod. And if there's a little problem between the child and the parent, the adult is the one that has a responsibility to repair the relationship. The child does never have that work, doesn't have to work for that, to make the relationship work. And then last week, we had the powerful nonviolent communication to avoid falling into destructive cycles of blame and criticism that we have learned, and putting attention to the human needs that govern people's words and actions. And then that there is a map of observation, looking at your feelings, needs, and then a request. And today we have, oops, I need to move I need to move this so I can turn that. Okay. And today, so I'm reading, as you can see, the other times I was not showing this, but it's easier for me. I want to introduce you the amazing Ahmad Nakhaei, who works at Watari, and he's an expressive art therapist and community counselor. His practice focuses on at-risk children and new refugees, providing therapy through different art modalities to provoke imagination and enhance creative expression. He has worked extensively with various demographics impacted by trauma and complex trauma, including those who experience systemic displacement, disempowerment, and racism. His therapeutic approach is informed by synergetic play therapy, Gestalt therapy, and person-centered therapy. And today, the presentation that he's going to do is called Assisting Children in Integrating Their Emotions, a Neurobiological Approach, exploring the nervous system, regulation, how to communicate with children to acknowledge their feelings, engage their cooperation using a non-disciplined approach, and build their self-esteem. So
can I make a correction here?
Yes.
It's actually it's no punishment approach, not no
Okay.
discipline.
Okay. No punishment, no. Oh, right, right. Discipline.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes people think discipline is punishment. So yeah. But
No,
thank you for making the
yeah.
correction.
Thanks.
And I'm going to leave this, and I'm going to get out of your way so you can start the presentation. Stop sharing. Okay.
Okay, well, hello everybody, and thank you for introduction. In this presentation today, I will be um, really focused on nervous system. I'm trained in synergetic play therapy, and basically synergetic play therapy is there is a lot of focus on the nervous system. And I have a question here. How many parents do we have in this room or the virtual room? And I see, or if you feel like just typing, um, and how many people actually work beside parents, work directly with children. Hmm. Thank you. So I'm just gonna uh, sh share my screen here and start the presentation. All right. Um, so for the parents here, I understand that this could be um, difficult to attend a presentation that talks about parenting and children. So I just wanted to say that uh, this is just a whole bunch of information that I give you, and by no mean um, I'm trying to tell you guys how to do parenting. This is just a whole bunch of information that you can use to um, just add to the experience you have. And I, by no means, I want to tell you that do not use your parenting intuition. As a matter of fact, um, we are going, as you're going to see, we are going to really focus on connecting to self and working on how to be or present in front of the children, or how to be, um, how to show up in the room with children. So I just want to know if you guys want to share how does this land for you? How do you feel about this and the things that I wanted to share with you? If you want to put it in the chat, how do you feel actually in your body? You will be hearing that quite a bit from me. Oh, I lost my. uh, Okay. For some reason my PowerPoint is not loading properly.
We can see
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, I tried to switch. There you go. It works, but it's lagging for lagging when I press to change the page. So the learning outcome here is learn how children use projective process. So we are going to talk about projective process. What does it mean, and how does it look like in being in this space? So one thing I have to say as a disclosure is that I'm gonna talk. I used to give this presentation to um, people who work with children, therapists, and so I keep using the playroom. But because I know there are different people with different um, capacity in working with children, so I'm gonna use the space. So the space for you could be um, therapy, could be if you're a teacher, could be the classroom, or if you're a service provider, your office. So yeah, that's what I wanted to clarify. We are going to look at mirror neuron system. What does it actually mean, and how does it relate it into projective process? Why authenticity is important? What does authenticity means, anyways, and why is it so important to be authentic in front of children or in children's presence? Exploring the nervous system. We are going to be looking at nervous system and um, uh, how nervous system is actually shows up as behavior in children. Um, Regulation, what regulation actually means, and the how we can be an external regulator. So I'm gonna start by telling you a story. Or talking about one of my cases. So I work with a child named Leanne. Leanne is a 9-year-old indigenous person. She's diagnosed with ADHD and ODD, oppositional defiant disorder. She's behind in her academics. Teachers are frustrated. What I hear from school is that uh, she she has trouble concentrating. She is getting punished all the time. She runs away from classroom. There were 3 incidents that she runs away from classroom. In one incident, they actually called the police and they found her under a staircase, sitting there quietly. Over the course of this year and a half that I've worked with her, she has become, she has started to use medication, and the medication has changed at least 4 times. The doses has changed. The medication is for ADHD, and usually ADHD medication um, gives them anxiety. So she started taking anxiety medications. So all I heard from school is that she behaves out of nowhere. She starts running away. She runs away from the class. She doesn't want to do the work that we give her in the class. From foster parents, I hear that she doesn't get along with other foster children at home. She doesn't want to listen to them. So a lot of focus on behavior, and none of it is focusing on the underlying issues, underlying the issues, that why is she behaving the way she's behaving. So in this presentation, we are going to look back at Leanne to see what I have done with Leanne and how we worked with Leanne in this year and a half that uh, I've worked with her, including, getting school involved and backpass involved to give her what she needs. So I'm going to start by talking about projective process. Something, sorry, I forgot to tell you guys. If there is any questions, please feel free to ask questions. You can either type the questions in the chat or just raise your hand and ask the question. Um, the projective process. The projective process is the capacity to see ourselves outside of ourselves. Children project their inner world or their internal state onto toys or adults, like caregivers. So what is this projective process? This projective process is the process that children set us up to feel how they feel inside. They really give us insight into their experience through their body language, word, and action. They also do this with toys. This is truly the heart of the projective process. As children set us up to feel how they feel, they have the opportunity to watch us manage the sensation and emotion we are holding. Um, this fact is often overlooked and misunderstood. Yet it's one of the fundamental component of being able to comprehend what the child is saying to or trying to communicate with us. So children project their inner world into toys and caregivers, setting them up to experience the perception of what is it feel like to be them, and basically look at us to see what we are doing with this feeling that we got. So that's why it's important for us to be authentic, show um, um, to show what we actually feel. So we want to be connected to our own feelings to be able to communicate that with children. Um, so, for example, I'll give you an example. A child come to the space, to the room, and they say, "You are bad. You're no good. Go sit in the corner." Um, and so, what do you think this child is telling us? If you want to just talk or or type it in the chat.
Ahmed, did
Yes.
you mean
Sorry.
the child comes and says that to the adult? Is that what you
To
meant?
the adults. Yes.
Okay, the
She walks
child
into the
comes and
room. She
says,
walks into
"You are
yeah,
bad, sit
said,
at the
yeah,
corner."
yes. So basically, this child, I don't see any answers. So this child is telling you that she has been scolded, she has no control in her life, and so she's projecting you, yes, sad and angry. Needs
I
that I
think
don't get, yes. So that's what the projecting process actually means. They're telling you what they feel inside. So then they sit there and look at you. What do you do with that? So you can as an adult, you can say, "How dare you talk to me like that? Don't talk to me like that." So you're basically telling the child to this emotion is not accepted.
And as June and Anna, they have a question.
thank you.
Go ahead, yes.
In response,
I don't see everybody in the. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for Jesus for bringing this up. Go ahead. Question.
in response to your question about what might be the child telling us, I
Mhm.
feel like those were the words that were said to him in his everyday life. So you get a sense of, go to the corner, you're bad. Like these are the messages that were told to him, and that's in his repertoire. So he's now telling, that's his output because these were words that were told about him to him.
So basically, you're absolutely right, but basically that's how he feels,
Mm,
right?
Yeah, and that's how he feels. Yeah.
Yeah. So again we are working with the nervous system and feel. So how do I feel in the room? how do I feel in front of the child?
Hmm.
So I feel like I don't matter. I've been punished, and right. So then, what do I do with that? So child is gonna sit there and look at you, see what do you do with it. There was another question. Sorry, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Mhm. Anas, Anas has a
Yes, Ahmed.
question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just think about the is it the in this age first I mean in what ages we are talking about? Is there a certain like age
No,
for the kids?
no. We later on towards the end of the presentation,
Yeah.
we are going to talk about the emotional age. But really, in reality, is everybody does that. Adults
Hmm.
do that. I can give you example, right? You wake up in the morning and some reason you're in a bad mood, you're in an awful mood, right? So whatever happened, you just don't feel good about yourself. So you go to work, you go get in contact with people. What do? You pick on them, you say mean things to them, you're projecting on them, right? The
So
same
you
thing if
mean
you're go ahead.
yes, Ahmed. So you mean that the kid or whatever age is
Any
storing
age.
the things that we are acting towards, I mean, toward him or her, store it and then take it into another environment and practice it. Or you try and, I mean, just to say uh, that how the parents are acting, that will be transferred in the nervous system of the kids.
I'm gonna hold on to that question. Okay, hold on to that question because this is gonna I'm gonna clarify that a little bit later because what they are actually projecting is the part that they have disowned or um or the uh difficult emotions that they have not they have not integrated. The emotions have not been integrated. And so they if they don't project it, if they don't integrate it, they constantly will be faced with it, right? And I'm gonna get a little spiritual here. I think the reason that we are here is for us to um, experience all of the emotions and find the part of ourselves that we disown and we haven't loved, so we can meet them again and love them. That's my view of it.
Can I have a question, please?
Mhm. Please.
What do you mean with disowned? Like we disown the kid, or what are his disowned parts?
So I'm not talking about what you did to kids. Well, it's actually partially is. So let me tell you a little bit more. So when we are born, we are born with this capacity to um, experience all our emotions, or our energetic traits, or you could even call them our traits, right? This is the personality, right? We are there to experience them all. We have access to them all. But the messages we are getting from our environment is, this um, behavior you're showing us, this what you're showing us is no good. Another one that you're showing is good. Keep doing that. One good example is anger. Anger is no good. Don't show anger, right? And this is different. It's very different in each culture. So we learn as a kid that this part of us are no good, or we are not allowed to express it. So this becomes something that eventually in future we will be playing it. We will be projecting it. And until we actually integrate it. Did I answer your question?
Something like shame, like the.
Shame is one. Shame is one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Marilyn has a
So,
question as well.
No,
yes.
sorry, that was the thank you, Ruth, for asking the question. No,
Mhm.
I have to lower the hand.
Okay.
Carmen has a question, Ahmad.
Okay, go ahead, Carmen. Hi, Carmen.
Carmen, are you around? Maybe not. It seems that it's not
Okay.
close
Okay.
to her computer.
So,
Can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay, it's just my stupid earphones. I can't find a good pair of earphones. I'm too cheap. So what you're saying, Ahmad, is this might be the result as early as 2 years old or 3 about cultural influence, about how we are raised in the family, and that shapes our self-awareness, self-perception of who we are. If early, I mean, I have a granddaughter who's 19 months old and she's already showing signs of no, yes, and all that stuff. So what I'm saying is culture has to do a lot with how we shape ourselves. What it is for me interesting here, this is part of my reflection, is that I can be with someone who is 70 or 80 years old and still having someone who has not integrated painful memories. Is that true? Am I right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can be, again, later on in towards the end of the presentation, I'll show you emotional age, and you can be an adult and emotionally you can be an infant at 2 years old towards a certain emotions. For example, if you have an integrated fear when at the age of 2, when you are facing fear, you will actually behave your emotion. You show an emotion at 2 years old. That's why we call it emotional age. And yes, you're right. This is very depends on the culture. Some cultures, for example, in Western culture, they accept being smart, showing intelligent is praised. It's really good. Show more of it. While it could be in other cultures that no, it's actually it's a threat. You don't show the intelligence. Right? And these two cultures could be two houses on the same street next to each other.
Yeah, it's the front actually. Front. That's actually this one? Yeah, opposite to the gas station. Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep going if there is no more question. So this again, going back to the projective process, or we also call it setup, or we actually call it in synergetic play therapy, we actually call it offering. So they're actually offering a window into their world. I think it's amazing. So this setup is not a manipulative process, or should be considered as a bad thing. It is an offering, invaluable information to help us understand our children. So as I was saying, I'm having problem with the. So as I was saying, we were born with all the different energetic expressions or personality traits until environment is telling us what is good and what is bad, and then and there is I forgot who was it, but somebody said shame. There is a shame around that. There is a shame around not that you're feeling an emotion, but because of shame you're not showing it, right? And so we are going to learn to accept all the emotion when we are with children. So we talked about that how the this energetic expressions are different in each culture. So, but really, what it tells us is all the expressions are neutral until we decide that they are not, until environment tell us that they are not. So, and we deny this own part of ourselves that we were told that they are not good. And so again, children project their disowned and denied part, also unintegrated data or information from events that they have perceived in their lives as challenging. So I'm wondering if anybody wants to show about to show something about their experiences with a child, their child or the child that they work with, projecting something, and how did they feel inside when this projection happened? If anybody has an example to share. I think June has.
I don't have an example to share. I have a
Okay.
question to ask.
Okay, yes, please do.
As you're talking about how we were born, when we were born with the whole range of emotions. We were born with being capable of expressing. And
They're accessible to us. They're okay to do it, right?
Right. And then socialization took some away along the way.
Environment, yeah.
Right. I'm curious, this may be a bit outside the box. I'm curious whether there's research done on different societies, okay, like, Western Asian or the so-called less developed countries, a totally different social environment where kids can escape this. I'm curious. Escape being, yeah.
Escaping what? I didn't get the last part.
Escape being like having some emotions being taken away because of environmental factors, like where some emotions, ability to access those emotions are taken away because we were criticized. We were told we can't.
Okay, so by taking away mean we learn not to accept them.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm wondering whether there are some societies out there, anywhere on the world, on the planet, where this could be escaped, where kids can thrive, or is it human nature that no matter where we are, this is going to happen? I'm curious.
If you're asking me if there has any research been done, I am not aware of that. But I feel that there isn't a society that hasn't disowned some personality traits.
Thank you.
That's my personal opinion. It's not by any means based on any research. And if there are any research, I'm not aware of it, to be honest with you. Okay, any more questions? Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I have there. So again, a child comes to the room, to the space with an adult. They orient into the room if they are safe, with the caregivers, with the therapist. They orient themselves with the toys, with the environment, to see if they're safe. Then they test the adult to see if the adult is actually authentic. By authenticity, I mean if the adult, what they are showing, their affect is the same as their internal states. For example, if I am so upset with the child inside and I'm very angry and I show a smiley face and talk calmly to them, this is not authentic. So they test you. They test you in a way that push your buttons, for lack of a better word, that to see how you behave. Are you gonna show your anger, or you're gonna keep the calm face while you're really uh, not feeling good inside? Then the child, when they feel safe and the environment is safe and the adult show that they're authentic, they start doing their projection. And um, they do whatever they have in their power to help adult understand what they feel inside. And if you don't understand, for example, if I'm angry, as a child, I will make you angry. And if you don't show me that anger, or you hide it inside and show me smiley face, I will um, notch it up a little bit. And if by the way I talk, you don't get angry, I'm going to throw something at you to get angry until you say that you are angry. And then after I project, I will look at the adult to see what they do with it. And this is through a process called mirror neuron system. So mirror neuron system was discovered in 1980s by Parma University in Italy. And so it is the experience we have when we are in a relationship with others, um, um, while we are in the presence of other. Our neurons fire when we see others expressing their emotions, and we actually feel that, and our brain um, receive that data, and we feel the same way that they feel. And we get the same expression, the same feeling. So our mirror neurons start firing the same way as their mirror neuron is firing. And we receive the same signal as they do. And so that means we observe others. As we observe others, our brain creates a full simulation of what they are observing, as if for a moment we are um, imaging, we're getting the same image as they are getting in our brain. And so our brains actually attempts to feel what the other person is feeling and experiencing. And I'm gonna share a story with you, a true story. So about a year ago, um, I flew to I was on a trip. I flew back to Vancouver. My flight arrived at 2 a.m. And and I had my car parked in the uh, long-term parking. 2 a.m. I couldn't find any shuttle to take me to the parking lot, so I had to walk actually. So um, it was very dark and there was nobody there. And as I was walking on the side of the road, I was like, I felt so alone. Then I reached to the parking lot, and this parking lot was full of cars, but it was so big, and I had so much anxiety in me that um, I all of a sudden wasn't able to find my car. So I would go up and down these aisles and try to find my car, and I couldn't. And then all of a sudden I saw somebody like in the dark coming towards me, and I started panicking. I didn't know what to do. Would I run? Would I try to find my car? So I kind of froze in this panic mode. So I'm gonna stop the story and I'm gonna ask you guys to tell me how do you feel? How did you feel when I shared this story with you?
You want us to do it in the chat or just...
Chat, talk.
Okay, I can share with you.
Sure, thank you.
I felt in danger, under threat. I needed I needed support, somebody to guide me.
Ruth says concern. Share my anxiety. So the question here is, now this feeling that you have, is it actually, this anxiety that you have, is it actually your anxiety or my anxiety? But June, you felt that, right? Yes. So now it's in you. You're feeling it in your body. So now so is it your anxiety or my anxiety? Yeah. So that wasn't a true story. Sorry, guys. But the reason I brought that up, just to give you an example of mirror neurons. So that's how it works. So if a child makes me angry, so they feel anger inside and they project this anger on me. If I'm an attuned adult and take a deep breath and regulate in front of the child and name my emotion, the child will look at me and say, oh, so this feeling called anger, and that's what I do with it. I got it. But if I, as an adult, don't regulate myself and the child make me angry and I go, ah, 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 and I start yelling and screaming, child will say, oh, so this is what I have to do. And the child starts screaming. And then I'll scream louder and the child will scream louder. So what I'm trying to say here is what's important is for the adults to regulate themselves in front of the child, model regulation, and then name the emotion. So the child knows what to do with it. Because that's what they are doing, really. They're trying to see what to do with that. So in response to child initial play or the projection, the caregiver will model regulation by having an authentic response to the child's initial play. So they come to you and they project that, and you will say,
following menu option. To report a student absence, press 1.
I will, sorry, I got distracted for a second.
Somebody.
Yeah. So so I would say, I feel angry. I wouldn't say you make me angry. I would say I feel angry. And then I start and I take a deep breath and I start regulating. So we are feeling another person through a process called interoception. Basically, meaning that through our body, we feel other people. We feel how you feel. And then we acknowledge the impact, name the emotion, and breathe. So this is something I call it rocking the baby. So why do we rock the baby when they are in distress? To physically soothe their pain in their body. to help settle emotional distress that they're experiencing in their body, in their feeling, to help them know why they are not alone, or to help them know they are not alone, to help them know they can trust and that their needs can be met, and to help let them know that it's okay to ask for their needs to be met. Helping babies to learn about the sensation in their body, helping them connect with their body, and helping them connect in their body amidst the challenging emotion that they have, and lay down the wiring in the brain as the babies learn what it feels like to move from dysregulated state to the regulated state over and over again. Then we create the templates or neural pathways. So we give them a strong regulatory capacity, and then baby borrow the regulatory capacity of their adult caregivers as their own regulatory capacity develops. Alan Shore, one of the researchers in interpersonal neurobiology, states that the mother is literally a regulator of the crescendos and decrescendos of the baby's developing automatic nervous system. In order to help pattern children's nervous system, the children first need an external regulator, someone to integrate the dysregulated state in their nervous system. Any question about being an external regulator and how does it look like? So rocking the baby. So they don't really need to be the baby. We are talking about at any age children come to you, you will rock them to regulate them. Yes, June, you have a question?
Yes, I'm thinking about a youth that I worked with years ago. He was grieving the loss of his mother, and in one of the sessions, he just let out all his anger in the room, just him and I actually felt scared. He was taller than me, and so like looking at your model, naming the emotion. Now he looks angry. I'd name that. Would I also give him feedback that I feel scared? Like I didn't at the time, but I thought about it afterwards. Would that have been a good idea? And what would it do?
What would he do? He would, well, yes, the answer to your question, yes, you name your feelings. You say that I'm angry. I feel scared inside. It is really powerful if an adult actually name that feeling and then regulate and don't act on it. I'm scared, but I'm not going to run away. I regulate right in front of you. Right? I'm angry, but I'm not going to scream. I regulate myself in front of you. Yes. So that's what I'm calling, that's what I'm talking about when I said authenticity. You're actually being authentic in that room. I'm scared. Yes, I'm scared. I'm not afraid of you. You are not making me angry, but I feel scared inside. And I need to sit down and breathe.
Thank you.
Then the child will look at you and say, as a matter of fact, if you actually regulate in front of them, they borrow that from you. Right? Because that's what they do. That's what we do in presence of others.
Thank you.
No problem. Mary Sarah, I think you had a question.
Oh, no, I didn't. Was my hand up? Sorry.
Somebody, sorry, I missed Jesus, that's a question.
I think it's Maria Servino.
Oh, Maria Servino. Okay, sorry.
I did put my hand up because in this regulation that you are talking about, my idea of what I understood is that, yes, for them to express their feeling, I need to regulate myself. But if I tell them I'm angry, I don't know how much I'm regulated them, because then if I'm matching their feeling, it may not be as helpful, because that may scare them, because it's like children feel responsible, right, for everything that's happening around them. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
if
Yes.
I'm telling them,
Yeah.
oh, I'm angry too, then I don't understand how it's that helping to regulate them. I understand the part that, yes, I collect myself, I breathe, and I can take it, because I'm the adult and they need to express themselves. But the part of saying, even with words, maybe later on I can say that was scary for me later, but at the moment you are saying that it's better that I also tell them, well, I'm also angry and I'm also scared.
So
that's the part is a bit confusing for me. How is that helping to regulate them?
So a couple of things that I heard from you is that you don't want to say that you're making me scared and you're making me angry. You have projected something that now I feel it inside. So I feel scared. I feel angry, but I'm not going to act on it. But I'm going to show you how to regulate. But the question is, are you able to regulate? So what is the regulation? That's something that we are going to talk about. What does regulation actually mean? Regulation doesn't mean that you calm down. Regulation doesn't mean that you sit down and be really calm. Regulation, as a matter of fact, means you have control over the situation. You have control over your emotions. And if you have control over your emotions, you're actually moving towards the challenging emotions. You move towards it, and you actually have control. So that's why I said that it's so powerful if you tell a child that I am so angry, and take a deep breath and remain calm, or so you remain regulated, and then
well, a
don't do
deep breath
anything.
is because that's what helps me regulate, right? Or whatever it helps you to regulate. Yeah.
What helps you regulate is two things: taking a deep breath, naming the emotion. Alan Shore, Dan Siegel says that this is actually a must that you name the emotion. It's not enough that you breathe. It's not enough that you describe the sensation in your body. It's the must that you name the emotion. He actually says, name it to tame it. Right? So yes, you
that's why
name
we
it.
name it to the child, right? Yeah.
Yes.
In front of
So
the
you
child.
name it, take a deep breath and say, my heart is beating fast. So when you say that, you're bringing the attention, you're inviting a child to bring their attention in their body. So you're saying that my heart is beating fast, and I don't know, whatever sensation, my palm is sweaty, and I feel like I can't take a deep breath. It's almost 99% of the time that child will check their own body. And I've done it, and I do it every day with kids in the session. When I take 3 deep breaths, I see children take a deep breath. So they connect. So I invite them to check with their bodies.
So being a little saying, but mostly being specific with how are we feeling in the body, right? So that they can also identify, is that you mean? They can also recognize it in themselves and start.
Well, they check their body.
They check, yeah.
Right. As a matter of fact, when I work with parents, I invite parents to bring this language at home, bring it at home to teach kids to normalize checking with your body. You say, oh, I just felt something in my body. Oh, I just had a wave of sadness. Right. I feel I can't take a deep breath, right?
Mhm.
My body says, I had a child who the parents complained that she eats so much and she doesn't know when she's full. So I won't give her enough food. And she always complains that she's angry. So my suggestion to her was, instead of approaching it from food perspective, you approach it from connecting the child from the body. Obviously, the child doesn't know when she gets full, so she keeps eating. So bring the attention in the body. Oh, my eye says eat more, but my body says I'm full. I feel in my stomach, right? So this is the language you wanted. This language invites children to connect with their bodies. Because honestly, we are not connected with our bodies. I also work with adults, and um, I think Carmen asked me if this is cultural or not. I work with adults, especially Middle Eastern adults, that they're not connected with the body. When I ask them, how do you actually feel in your body? They look at me and say, what do you mean by that? Or they say, good, right? Good is not a feeling. Or if I ask them, where do you feel in your body? They say, what do you mean? I'm sad. Well, where do you feel the sadness? What is the sensation in your body? They don't know. They are not connected with their bodies. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that
Okay.
became more clear. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I see two hands. Jesus, you have a question?
It's more a comment about the same as you just mentioned. I work with adult men, and I can see all the time how we cannot name the emotions that we have. But it's not just that we cannot name, but we cannot connect with our own emotions, no? And I think it's because nobody told us how to do it, as you are trying to mention right now, no? And I think it's very important for ours as workers working with parents to encourage them to name the emotions and try to connect the emotion with the body, because when you became an adult, you are incapable of doing those things, no? And the most of the men that I am working, I mean, the vocabulary about emotions is so limited. They say, I am angry, I am happy, I am cool, and that's it. No? So
I actually give parents emotion list. You can find the emotion list online because there is not enough vocabulary.
Yeah. No, that's it, Ahmad. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Who else do I have? More hands. I see two hands. Oh,
Carmen.
Carmen, yes.
I hope I'm not taking too much of your time. Because
No. This is your time, actually, not my time.
Oh, you're so nice. Don't say that. Okay.
Yeah.
I have two questions. If you could explain, I don't think I have heard the explanation about interoception. I was gonna go to Google to look it up because I really want to know what interoception is. The other
Interoception,
comment I wanted to ask you is just wanted to comment that I think the basis of Circle of Security, a program that Marilyn, Maria, and other people, and we do it here in Monplesa, this is based on this. Is how one of the helping hands, one of the parents' hands or caregiver will bring back the child, and how you can regulate or help to regulate the child, but by telling them whether. I think Maria was talking about that. It's you first of all, you are the wiser, you are the bigger and the wiser element or human being in the equation. So the child will look up at you for coming to regulate because something happened. And some parents.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm interrupting you, but this is really, really interesting that you said you use the word wiser. What I want to say, your nervous system is has the higher presence in the room. It's higher order, and naturally, a child will connect to your nervous system.
If you're authentic.
Yes.
If you're not
If
being
you're
triggered.
authentic.
by whatever your
If you are
body.
not, one more thing, if you are not triggered, then you're not, sorry, if you're not
Exactly.
authentic,
You're not
then you're
okay.
not regulated.
Exactly. So the thing with circle of security is we ask parents to try to be the wiser and the kinder and the bigger. And the other question I have is then when co-regulation happens. Sorry, two questions. One is interoception and the other one is then co-regulation is something else? Mutual regulation?
Um,
Thank you.
sorry, oh, where did that go? Mirror neuron you're talking about? Sorry, Connie.
Yeah, it's very complex because the child might want to be acknowledged, might want to be mirrored, but then the parent, the other human being, or the person they come for mirroring is not. Yeah, I think I'm talking more about co-regulation is the parent or the caregiver helping to regulate the child. However, are you regulated? I don't know. I mean, we talk about co-regulation many times.
Okay, so so you want to know the difference between co-regulation and mirror neuron?
That's right.
Is that
Yeah.
that's what I okay. All right, thank you. Yeah,
Thank
so you co-regulate with higher order of um, the most regulated presence in the room. You co-regulate with them through your mirror neuron. So the example I gave you guys, so I wanted to for you guys to feel my anxiety, right? But what if I am sitting here calm and regulated, and then you would pick that up through your mirror neurons? That becomes co-regulation. So I am regulated through your mirror neuron. You regulate with me. Did I answer that?
Is that through energy, the energy that we feel from each other?
It's your nervous system, which is energetic, right? So your nervous system is energetic. Okay, so when, for example, if you, have you ever had a moment that you sit next to a person and this person is like really depressed and really hyper aroused and no emotion, and you look at them and all of a sudden you get really low energy, you actually get sleepy, right? So you pick up on the other people's energy, other people's nervous system. Sorry, I don't know who asked that question, but did I answer that?
Yes, it's Marilyn. Thanks.
Marilyn, okay. I don't know who was first. Was it June is raised her hand again? Anybody else? I don't know who was first. So go ahead, June. Ask your question.
My question has to do with the body-mind connection. I wonder if we were born connected and then something happened to us along the way and we became disconnected, or like Jesus said, we have to learn to connect ourselves. So it's a chicken or egg question.
We are not. So when you are it's a good question. So when as a child, as an infant, when an infant was born, when we go to nervous system, you'll probably get this answer. But when a child is born, they know when they're hungry, they know when they're thirsty, they know when they need sleep, or they know they need attention, right? They need somebody to calm them down. So they feel that in their body, right? So yes, we are born with it and we are connected, and over the time we lose this connection because we were told not to connect with your body. You were told that your emotion is not right. How many times we told kids, don't get angry, don't say that, don't show anger. And I'm like, If I don't show anger, what do I do with this energy? Right? That's why we never say don't do it. We say show me a different way. If a child wants to project the pain on you because they're hurting, they will punch you and kick you and throw things at you. You will never say that, don't do that. This is wrong. You say, show me another way. Right? Punch the teddy bear. Right?
Thank you. That was very useful.
No problem. Is it another person? I think there's a hand raised, and I don't know whose hand is that. No?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay,
I
sorry.
just put a yes. This is the thing about show me a different way. I said yes. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I got so many windows open with the PowerPoint and everything. I'm just like, which one is which? And you can tell that I'm not a very tech savvy. Um, okay, so we're going to talk about the projection and what we do with kids. We continue talking about that. Our primary way of learning is through observation. So why do kids project? Because they want to see you, they want to see you feel what they feel inside, and they want to see you, watch you to learn what you do with it. Because our primary way of learning is through observation. When the caregiver names the experience, they model to the child to have a relationship with all their parts. So if I say I'm angry, so I'm naming it and I'm going towards it, right? It's okay to be angry. And I think I've said that our little research shows that one of the most important part of teaching a child how to regulate their internal state is for the caregiver to name their experience out loud and name the emotion and the sensations they have. Alan Shore has a code that I'm going to use here. We use the relationship, I'm going to read it from the PowerPoint. We use the relationship to allow our clients, the children, to re-experience dysregulating affects in effectively tolerable doses in the context of a safe environment, so that the overwhelming traumatic feelings can be regulated and integrated into the client's emotional life. Again, by clients, children. So for those of you who actually work with children, this is really says it all. We want the client, the children, to feel the dysregulating or challenging feelings. We want them to feel it, but in a safe environment and in a tolerable doses. That means we don't want to invite a child to go towards the anger when the child is already dysregulated and they cannot tolerate it anymore. So we want them to go near it slowly and slowly. So I give you one example. I work with this child, 7-year-old child that so he plays a lot of unknown in his play, a lot of fear of unknown. And so I name it and I breathe and I talk about my emotion. But when I breathe, I usually breathe out loud because I wanted to be a big presence in the room. And so the first session we did that. The second session he came in and said, he looked at me and said, you know that breathing thing that you do? I said, yeah. He said, don't do that anymore. It's really annoying. So this kid had vocabulary to tell me, I don't want you to do that. It's dysregulating. So I learned to, in front of him, to breathe, not to amplify, just breathe slowly or quietly. But some kids don't have the vocabulary to say that. So they would get more agitated, more activated. And I keep, if I keep breathing louder, and, and the kid will get more dysregulated until it becomes flooded. Their nervous system becomes flooded. So that's what it means by tolerable doses. So basically what Alan Shaw is trying to say is how we show up with our children in such a way that allow their dysregulation to begin to rise in the space, in the safe environment, or during the play, in the context of relationship in a tolerable doses. So we have the relationship, and this relationship is it's a safe relationship. And so they feel safe to show that to me, but only as much as they want to show that to us. Any questions? Because next slide is we are going to go into a nervous system. So do we need to take 15 minutes break right now?
It's up to you.
I think let's do it because next topic, I want to answer all the question about the projective nature of the work that we do and what we do with children before I go to the nervous system and brain and function of brain. Any more question around this?
Hi, Ahmad. It's Marie
Hi.
here.
Hi, Marie.
Hi, hello. I just wanted to great information so far. I just had a question about you had talked about why children project, and I just wanted to make sure I understood what you said. Is it that they want to see the parent feel what they feel inside? Am I correct in understanding that?
That's the first part of it.
Yes.
The second part is they want to see you. They want you to show them what to do with it. Because our primary way of learning is through observation. So I want to see you deal with it so I can learn what to do with it.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, at 3 years old, when they have difficult emotions, something comes up for them. They are so frustrated. They don't come to you and say, Mom, I am so frustrated, and can you tell me what to do with this? No, they don't do that. So they come to you and say, do something to you so you get frustrated. Right? You know you. And you get really frustrated. And they just sit there and watch you. So if you're attuned to the child, if you're able to regulate yourself, you name it, you talk about your physical sensations, and then you regulate, take a deep breath. And then they say, oh, that's what I have to do. But if you don't, and I say, stop doing that, stop it. Bad boy or bad girl. And then they're going to make it worse. They notch it up a little bit.
Right.
Until you become authentic in front of them. Do you show up authentic in front of them? So I think the key is to understand that the primary ways of learning is through observation. For us, for adults as well.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I understand now. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
I have one last question.
Yes.
You said that we teach them, right? Like, but what if I don't get upset, right? What if I'm calm, I'm collected, and the kid's still like upset? Then do I focus on his behavior
Yeah, so it's a great question. Thank you. What if don't get you don't get activated, or you don't actually um uh get triggered or feel it?
Yeah.
But you know that that nervous system is present in the room, right? You see it, you
Hmm.
see it, you see it's happening in the room right in front of you,
Hmm.
right? You don't necessarily have to feel it. So then you can still name it and say, I can see you're very angry.
Oh, that's a good point then.
Mhm.
You don't have
I
to
can see you're
get,
very angry.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Mhm. You're
So,
acknowledging it.
okay.
You're acknowledging the feeling and you're naming it for them.
Hmm. Because I think that would be the main goal, right? Like be like enough regulated as an adult, like to help or to teach properly to the kids, right?
Yeah. So I again, I'll give you another example. I started working with a 10-year-old boy who parents said that he his brother, he's aggressive at home, he doesn't listen to me, right? At school, he is the greatest kid any teacher could imagine to have. He is
Mhm.
so polite. In the session, he comes in and he's so polite. He's actually a little present as a little too mature for his age. And he talks, well, how was your weekend? Or when we play, he cleans up after himself, right? This is what he's presenting, right? But I'm sitting there and I'm feeling the anxiety in his body, right? I'm feeling the anxiety in the room, right? The anxiety doesn't come from me. The anxiety is in the room. Where is it coming from? There is only another nervous system in the room, right? So there is anxiety. It's not that I'm so anxious that I can't function, but there is anxiety in the air,
Hmm.
right? So this kid, when we go to the nervous system, um, talk about it. This kid is um, in the dual nervous system. He present as very hypo, but he's actually very hyper inside,
Mhm.
right? So he oscillates between two different branches of nervous system we have.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
I have one question too,
Yes.
regarding projection.
Mhm.
I've heard, read, and learned somewhere that as adults we also project. Um,
Yes,
and
we
then
do.
when I project, for example, on
Mhm.
something else, something that I
Mhm.
don't like, I judge, or
Mhm.
that it has to do with something that I have inside me that I don't see it, I'm blind to it, but that I reject also. Like I'm
You
saying,
reject. Yes, thank you.
yeah,
But that's the word. There's a part that you disowned, right?
this,
You
yeah,
stopped loving,
right.
and you will face it over and over and over again. It
Yeah.
comes up, it shows itself. And
Yeah.
then that's why then we call it a repetition of something. So if you make the same mistake, then you say, oh, I'm so stupid. Why am I keep doing that? And you use a lot of negative words around it rather than saying, oh, this is something else that I get another chance to revisit it and see if I can love it again. I know,
Right.
sorry, I kind of jumped in here, but
No, no, no. Good.
was
Thank
that your question? I
Yes,
get
yes.
excited when these questions comes up and I want to talk about it. But yeah, so did I answer your question?
Sorry. Yes, you did.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is great. Yeah, true we always do that. I give the example of if you wake up in the morning and um you're not regulated, you're just in a bad mood. You're just in a bad mood. You go to work and you pick on people. You project that on people because you don't want to deal with it. So there's a part of you that actually disown that. So you're projecting it onto other people and watch them lay it. Watch them work it. Okay. Juicy stuff. Thank you for all these beautiful questions. Okay, so I'm going to propose 20 minutes break. How do you everybody feels like? Is it okay? Come back at 1:30?
Perfect.
Okay. See you
2:30.
guys.
2:30. Okay, thanks.
Did you say
Sorry,
20-minute break?
Yes.
I'm looking at the wrong clock. So yeah, let's say 15 minutes at 2:40.
Okay.
Yeah.
2:40.
Thank you for the generous break.
Okay, no problem. See you guys.
Thank you.